Hey, what is going on YouTube? East Tactics here, and today I thought I'd make a quick video, talk a little bit about SLOP. So, what is SLOP? SLOP is basically any sort of looseness that you can find throughout your vehicle. There's a lot of talk about people that will go in and clean up the SLOP in their differentials because they'll put shims in them to kind of bring mesh the gears together a little bit closer so that you're less likely to strip those gears. And to clean up that SLOP, you'll go in and put some shims inside your differentials and on the outside. Well, from the factory, believe it or not, one of the worst places where you're gonna find SLOP is in your end joints on your vehicle. So your tires themselves, for instance, take a look at this back tire. That is SLOP. And actually, I have gone in the past and added a little bit of shimming in here to clean this up. So my guess is from stock, if you've never done this, your SLOP might actually even be worse than this. But then again, I've also been running my vehicle, so. But irregardless, this is something that if you really want to get in there with a fine-tooth comb and do some TLC to your vehicle, I highly recommend going through and cleaning up this SLOP. So this is basically this looseness can be cleaned up. Now you won't be able to get it perfect, but there are some things you can do to make it better. For the front end, one of the biggest things that I could highly actually recommend is getting rid of the, I might even recommend doing it for the rear end as well, but getting these hot racing knuckle ends. I forget the exact name for them, but you can pick these hot racing ones up, and these alone, I mean, the SLOP in my front end is almost non-existent. Not to mention, you're not going to have to worry about these popping out because this is aluminum, and so this ball end inside the aluminum is just not going to pop out. When you pop one of these ball ends out of your composite or your plastic knuckles, it happens a lot more often. In fact, you'll even get a crack. Sometimes it'll crack right along one of the, down below here, and you pretty much need to replace it. So obviously, when you do replace it, upgrade it, right? But these hot racing knuckles really cleaned up the SLOP in the front end. It's very minimal compared to the SLOP that's here in the rear. So what you do, at least for the front end, is at least my best recommendation is just picking up these hot racing. So you don't really need to go in anywhere in the front end to add what I'm going to recommend here. So disregard this RPM logo, it's just a sticker. But just jump on Amazon and pick up a kit here of little plastic washers, all right? So what I'm gonna go in and do is I'm gonna add in a washer, which there's not even one that exists right here in this gap. So we're gonna squeeze one in there. And then we're also gonna put one in right here and tighten this up as much as possible. To help get rid of some of this SLOP. So your vehicle comes with this. This is the 2mm. So you want to get like a little screwdriver to widen this thing to get this thing out. There you go. So what you want to do is you want to take from your kit here, there's an M5 washer. Now the M5 washer actually fits over this thing. And you can put one on, actually on both sides. Like so. Okay. Okay, take your screwdriver, widen it just a hair. There you go. Tighten it up. You can kind of see those two. In my opinion, it's pretty much impossible to stop this pivot point from pivoting. So, you know, some people might actually stress the idea that you're creating undue friction right here, but there's pretty much no way to, like, I mean, create too much grip here to prevent this from pivoting. It's just not happening. So I myself feel like cleaning up that slop with the M5 size on either side of that bushing is nice. So another quick thing that you can do to remove a little bit of slop from all 4 tires actually is, you see this movement right here? You can go in and add a shim right in here. Basically loosen the nut on the end here, tap out the dowel that's right here. This will remove, and then find yourself a shim that's gonna go around. So this red piece pops off, and then you can put a shim right in between here to alleviate this side to side slop. We'll do it real quick. Typically there is a little bit of Loctite used in this one, so it's a little bit tougher to open up, but doable. And you actually don't need to remove the grub screw. You don't need to remove the whole thing. Pop that out. And this slides right off, okay? Found this one right here. And that is a perfect fit. You do want that to be pretty tight. All right, there you go. Okay, so now we're gonna take a look at the bottom down here. So the question is, what can we squeeze in here to tighten this up a little bit more? I've already got some washers in here, like I was telling you, from previous attempts to clean up this slop, but I think I can get it a little bit tighter. So why not do it? So I'm gonna remove the one that I currently have in here. And this is what I currently have. Basically 2 of these. I noticed that the new ones I bought are actually slightly thicker. So instead of going with these 2, I'm just gonna go with 2 of these, which if you look close, yeah. So basically these 2 new ones are actually just slightly thicker. So I'm just gonna go with that. Here we go. All right. So I can already tell, guys, there's a big difference in the slop cleanup here. Let's tighten this back on. And again, it doesn't have to be insanely tight. Okay, so now let me give it a rattle. I mean, there's like no movement here, guys. That is a beautiful thing. And then as far as, I mean, it's hard for me to, but that movement there is not tarnished in any way. So let's get the tire on. All right. Wow. Okay. So the slop is almost literally gone. Like, this is me trying to rattle it. Compared to so literally the M5s on either side of the turnbuckle and the M4 to basically tighten up that slop in there, and that is a world of difference. Well, this is something you can do to literally any of your RC cars, whether it be an Arrma vehicle or a Traxxas, or, you know, just buy a little tiny kit of plastic washers and clean up the slop around the tires, and in other places as well. Just having this kit on hand, whenever you're taking things apart, you're going to start finding that you're going to slap in these plastic washers to kind of get rid of the slop in all kinds of places. So I'm gonna get this done in the back right tire now, and all right. So now let's check out this slop difference. Okay. Moment of truth. A lot better. Really, the only slop that you're seeing in there, or that you're feeling in there now, is actually coming from up in here, and just the actual joint itself. So, ton better. Anyway, all right guys, well, so to clean up the slop around the 4 tires, the front end you don't really have anywhere where you can put washers like you can in the rear end. However, getting those hot racing knuckles make a huge improvement on cleaning up slop in the front, I found. And then doing what I just did here in the back end will clean up that slop back there, and it's just another kind of attention to detail that I really recommend you do to your vehicle. Anyway guys, I really appreciate you watching my videos. Check out my library for a ton of different recommendations, you know, outside the box thinking. Also check the description for where you can get this, if you want to nab this little box of washers. This is going to be in a link called the Arrma V4 and V5 Master Link, and it'll just take you to a list of just compiled products that I've used over the years and that I recommend. And again, just subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you appreciate this content, hit that thumbs up for me. East Tactics, out.